What's up, guys? It's a couple of hours until TBC launches, and I thought now is the time to give you my final couple of tips for people looking to get into gold making for TBC launch. Some of these will be very obvious and well known for people who have been doing gold making for a while, and some of them will be perhaps a little bit new, or at least there'll be some things to consider that those of you who have perhaps not played through an expansion launch before will at least want to be aware of. So yeah, let's dive in and go through them. All right, so let's take a look at my top tips. Number 1, install Tradeskillmaster. This add-on is a godsend. Of course, I would generally suggest people get into Tradeskillmaster, but for launch, you're not going to use all of the functionality with groups and operations unless you already know how to do that. For launch, what you want to focus on at launch is quite simply utilizing the tooltip. So Tradeskillmaster, once you set up the desktop app, you'll be pooling data with other people who are running scans on the auction house and checking what's there. And what that means is, simply put, you'll get in your tooltip, you'll get pricing data. You'll get what an item is roughly worth on the auction house. Now, of course, during the first couple of weeks, or at least the first week, the market value that TSM calculates will not be it will not be accurate. But what's going to happen is you can still get a good idea of whether or not your item is worth a lot or not. And that's invaluable, so you should get it before launch so you can have the pricing data and figure out any items you collect, any items you craft. You can also, if you open a crafting window or crafting profession, it'll tell you if your recipes are profitable or not, which is also a huge advantage. So get Tradeskillmaster just for the pricing data alone if you're not going to use any of the other features, of course. I'd suggest diving into the other features as well, but that's the most important part. The next tip is also an add-on. Install Auctionator. Auctionator, this is the UI you see here, with the buy and sell buttons, and I'd suggest for people who are relatively new to gold making and maybe don't want to use Tradeskillmaster, use Auctionator for all of your buying and selling on the auction house. Use it for everything. It works really well. It's very intuitive. You understand it easily. It makes sure you can always buy the right price of materials. You can always see the auction house. One thing to be aware of: if there's nothing posted, you'll have to make your own mind about what an item is worth, and that's going to be the case for a lot of different items, potentially during TBC launch. But definitely with Auctionator and the pricing data from TSM, you can get really far just posting things manually until prices essentially converge to the value that they'll keep for a while. Next up, check the price of everything. Utilize your add-on and actually take a look at every item you see, everything you get that you can sell on the auction house that might have value to other players. Figure out if it's valuable. There's a lot of things that have value. There's BOEs, particularly rare and higher quality. Green, uncommon ones, probably not that good. There's a lot of world drop recipes in TBC. Definitely something to pay very close attention to. But just make sure that everything you get, you check it out, see if it's worth something, and sell it. There are some very, very valuable items, a lot of valuable items, and just a lot of items that you can at least make some gold selling. So pay attention to that and get into the habit of that and understanding what an item is worth. This is also going to help you out if you want to dive into auction house based gold making methods down the line, which I would of course suggest. Farm if you need gold. Material prices will be very high at the beginning of TBC. They always are at the beginning of an expansion. If you don't have a lot of gold, just go farm. Maybe you don't want to do it right at launch. Maybe you want to blast to level 70 to do dungeons or play the game. Sure, if you want to make gold, you can always make gold farming. I personally don't do it much because I don't like farming primarily. And I find that I can make more money using auction house, the auction house and professions. But farming is definitely legitimate. This is a route of Hellfire Citadel for farming fell iron. You can farm with any of the gathering professions. Materials will sell for a lot during launches. Everyone will be rushing to max their professions, to get their crafted prebis. There's tons of crafted prebis gear in TBC. So the material bonanza will definitely be there, and you can take advantage of it. look at what you need. Take a look. This is an example from the consumable list for Warlocks. Take a look at what items you need and what materials you'll need, because those are great items to sell. And then you can figure out where you can get the recipe. If it's a crafted item, if you have the profession, then go get the recipe and start crafting that for a profit. That's a great way to figure out items that people are going to use. Well, if it's suggested for your class, then it's probably something that a lot of players of that class will be willing to spend their hard-earned gold on. So that's always a great place to start. Definitely take a look at that. Check out any consumables, pre-bis guides, any class guides. They'll have tons of items that you should or could get to improve your power, and that's going to be very nice to take advantage of. Number 6, the early bird gets the worm. This guy is exalted with everything in the Shattrath city, and you might want to be as well. If you are the first one on your realm with one of the in-demand recipes, well, obviously you can make a lot of money with that. So that's something that you'll want to take advantage of. Figure out what the most important recipes from your professions are, the ones that you're going to have on your main. If they require a specific reputation, start working on that as soon as you can and focus on that while leveling. If it's a world drop, pay attention on the auction house often to see if it's up. If you are the first one to get a high demand recipe, you can sell the item for a lot of money and some pretty obscene potential profit margins. So it's definitely going to be first to market in many different crafted items. Primarily, it's also going to be like that. Say you're the first one to speed level to a later zone, and you can now farm adamantite at a more efficient rate than anyone else. Then you can take advantage of that and make a lot of money farming as well. It's not just crafting, but figuring out where you want to go, or where you can take advantage of the fact that you are ahead of the pack if you are, and you can definitely make a lot of money with that. Pay attention. Prices change quickly. This is just a random item from Shadowlands launch, and this is what the kind of price behavior I expect to see with a lot of materials throughout TBC launch. Prices will change rapidly. So pay attention to the auction house. If there's something you're buying, if you're doing a specific craft, pay attention to the material costs, and if they look like they're going up or if they look like they're going down, just see if you can take advantage of that anyway. Shape or form. Maybe you can do a market reset. Maybe you can reset one of the crafted items that's used by that requires one of these materials. Maybe there's some flipping opportunities. There's going to be opportunities to screw up as well. But just keep an eye on the prices of the items that you typically buy or sell, and just so you're ready for any unforeseen surprises. There will be, and also keep in mind that if you're using Tradeskillmaster and some of the dynamic pricing formulas, the market value function in TSM will not be stable for the first couple of days, and you should not use it. You should use hard-coded gold values. You should pay attention to the actual auction house, not just the current cheapest price, but also how the quantities are. Is there a lot of volume below a certain price and then very little above that? How much is there actually at the current cheapest price? Is that something that people will buy through? If one person gets to max level and wants to level jewel crafting, is that going to take out the entire fell iron ore supply on the realm? Yeah, that's going to have a huge effect on the price. There's tons of opportunities both to make money and to screw up, so pay attention and see if you can utilize some of them. And lastly, most importantly, have fun. A nice expansion launch is the most fun part of any MMO after the initial launch. Do whatever you like. There's plenty of gold to be made. You'll make more gold if you're having fun, regardless of method. I'm sure there are some methods that are going to be more efficient than others, but if you're not having fun, then what's the point? So find ways to make gold that are fun to you, and that's also going to help you do better at that task. Like I don't like farming, so I'm a terrible farmer. I just don't have the mindset to optimize farming at all. So I never farm. I just go on the auction house, and you can, with how the classic auction house works, you can start working the auction house with 100 gold probably, even at TBC launch. So just do what you want to do, focus on what you find fun, and enjoy the launch experience. So yeah, that's it. That's my top 8 tips for TBC launch for making money. Good luck in Outland. If you like the video, leave a comment, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, guys, we'll see you in Outland. I'll be live the rest of the week doing that on Twitch. So yeah, come hang out. The links are in the description. Lastly, because it's TBC launch, I am running a special offer on my Patreon, where you will get access to weekly videos that I'll make. The first one is coming this Friday, where I go through the current markets on TBC, what I've found that works for me, and how I'd suggest approaching the next week. And I'll make those videos every week for the first 4 weeks. If you pledge within 2 weeks of TBC launch, you'll get the last 2 as well. That's the cutoff for the last 2. The first 2 I'll publish as they come, or as they go, like on the next 2 Fridays. So yeah, guys, if you're interested in that, then head over to patreon.com/thelazygoldmaker. The link's also down in the description. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you all in Outland. Goodbye, guys.